Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to go ahead and use this 1123 with a slant back top on it, and we're going to use it as a vehicle to test out the fan system. And the reason we're doing it is because in the beginning this Humvee had some electrical issues, and it did overheat one time and one time only. But we want to go ahead and test out the whole system, from the thermostatic switch to the time delay to the Cadillac valve, all the way to the fan clutch. But before we get into it, let's go ahead and take a quick break for one of our sponsors. Oh wait, we don't have a sponsor doing this for free. So with that said, what I would like to do is I would like to take opportunity to give a shout out to Gear Reports. Those guys spend a lot of time, a lot of effort on producing content. Obviously they're doing it as a business, so they got to make money, but they're also doing it to help us out. So you know, big shout out to those guys. They have a lot of content. Feel free to check out their website, check out their YouTube channel. If you like their stuff, if you watch it, even if you find a little bit of value, give them a thumbs up so the algorithm helps them out, and you know, it's beneficial for all of us. We need them to continue, and they need us to fund them so they can continue. With that said, if you like this, feel free to give it a thumbs up. Not required, optional. So let's get into it. What are we going to check? Oh yeah, before we get into it, I will send you, I'll have a link down below with an article that I'll put together of, hey, what are these steps that I'm doing? Most of it is pretty, you know, self-explanatory. Once you've seen it done, kind of figure it out. But I'll have it written too if you need something that you want to print out, take with you, and put it next to the truck as you're going at it. Cheers, have a good day, and thank you for watching. So I figured I'd go ahead and, number one, create a video, number two, create an article of, hey, what do I check? Always refer to your TM, not to YouTube, but YouTube is here to make life a tad bit easier. So I've got a little article written. I'm going to refer to my own article, and down below I will post the link to it. Before I get too far into it, as you notice, I don't have a mic. Can't find my little adapter to go into the fancy iPhones and such. Had to order another one. So hopefully this audio comes out clean. If it doesn't, I'll do a voiceover before publishing it. But what are we going to need? We're going to need jumper wires. Pretty simple. You don't have to even have anything fancy. You can just go find yourself some wires from the garage and cut the ends and use that. These work for me. Preferably you want the ones with the alligator clamps, and you can buy those alligator clamps individually at Home Depot, Lowe's, whatever. But this works. I don't even know where I found this, but gets the job done. Or you can, again, just get open wires. You have to be very careful with those, but it is what it is. Anyways, we're gonna need jumper wires, and we're going to need ourselves a multimeter. Not in a bind. You're out somewhere and you have an overheating issue. The best trick is to disconnect your time delay, and if you see that your fan is engaged, then you know that there's something wrong at the time delay on back. So, but what that will do is that'll help you get home without overheating. So that's a nice trick. So let's talk about the quick overview of your system, right? You have your thermostatic switch, basically reads the temperature and sends a signal to your time delay, which sends a signal to your Cadillac valve, which cuts off the fluid and engages your fan. It's kind of the order of operation. And what I like to do is kind of, my first step is backwards. I check the fan. And if your engine is off, you should not be able to move the fan blades. If you do, then your fan clutch is bad. Then I head back over to the thermostatic switch, and we'll talk about the steps and how to test that. So for your thermostatic switch, you're going to have wires 458A and 458B. What you want to do first is disconnect those wires. Once you've disconnected those, you want to check for continuity using your multimeter. If you have continuity at the thermostatic switch, then more than likely your switch is good. Then what you want to check is your time delay. So you want to go ahead and disconnect your time delay that leads to your Cadillac valve, and you want to see the operation of your fan. You want to make sure your fan is engaging and disengaging. If it's not, then you have an issue at the Cadillac valve, or you have an issue at the time delay. So to check your fan, it's pretty simple. While the truck is off, you want to try to move your blade. If it's not moving, then that's a good sign. In this case, this guy's fan is not moving. So where do you find your thermatic switch? Again, follow 458A and 458B, and you will find it right here. This sends the temperature reading to your truck, and essentially this should send a signal once you reach 220 to 230, and that should send a signal to your time delay, which should send a signal to your Cadillac valve, which should engage your fan. So again, what we're going to do first is we're going to disengage 458A and 458B, and we're going to do a continuity check. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and test the continuity on our thermostatic switch. So we're getting a reading of ohms, which tells me that there's continuity. Let me go ahead and change that setting so it makes that beeping noise, or it should. So I'm not sure how well you can hear me, but at this point in time, we've got our time delay fully hooked up here. We have our thermostatic switch disconnected with our jumper cables. And what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna connect them, disconnect them to see whether our fan is engaging and disengaging. Alright, so let's talk about what we just did. What we did is we disconnected our thermostatic switch, 458A and 458B. We made sure our Cadillac valve was connected to our time delay, and our time delay was hooked up to the harness. And by jumping the two wires connected to the harness, what we were checking for was, hey, are we sending a signal to the time delay? And is the time delay sending the appropriate signal to the Cadillac valve, which is then engaging and disengaging the fan clutch? And what I observed was, as I was connecting and disconnecting the 458A and 458B, the fan was engaging and disengaging. So at this level, we've got our Cadillac valve disconnected. And what we're going to do is we're going to conduct an ohm reading. I believe it should be 58 to 78 ohms as a reading. So we'll put that right there. So we're reading 63.9. We're going to go take the leads, swap them around. Should get the same reading. And we're getting 64. The other one was 63.9. This is 64.